Do you ever have decks in your collection that you look at and you just go, no, there is no way on this earthly world I would ever part with them? So this is what today's video is about. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand. So in today's video, I feel like you're a little off center. 1 second. Is that a bit better? Yeah, that's a bit better. Total professionals here. But in today's video, I am taking part in the 10 tarot decks that are never leaving my collection. So it's hashtag tarot decks for life by Simon over at the Hermit's Cave, and I've really been enjoying everybody's VR to this, so of course I had to partake as well. So I wanted to cheat, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to add in some oracle, but I feel like that could be a total separate video because if you don't know and you're new here, hi, I'm Mand, and I cover all things tarot and oracle card related here, spirituality and finding glimmers and magic in the mundane. Why was that so hard for me to say? But anyway, but I have a huge love for oracle, to be honest, over tarot. I love tarot, but I just adore oracle cards and oracle decks and all that. But I decided to stick with just tarot decks for this video. I know, look at me playing by the rules. It doesn't happen often, but this is such a fantastic video. I loved the different reasons as to why everyone kept or wouldn't part with the decks that they have, and why they love them, and how they came into their collection, how each deck holds a specific memory. There's so much more than just 78 cards, or 80 depending on the deck that you have, but normally 78 cards. And so that got me thinking about my collection, which has grown substantially over the years. Nice and gradual, I have to say. It's probably not one of the biggest collections amongst the tarot tubers, which that is totally fine. I love the fact that everybody's collection is totally and completely personal to themselves, and so it's wonderful to have different tarot decks for different seasons and different reasons and whatnot. So all that yip yap aside and chit chat, I think we should just get straight into the decks because there are 10 of them to get through. And yeah, so I hope you get comfy cozy, grab your favorite drink. Myself and Jackie are hanging out with you today, so thanks so much for taking the time to watch, and I hope you do subscribe if you haven't already. We're pretty awesome here, if I do say so myself, and I'll make sure to tag Simon's video and channel down below. So let's get into the 10 decks that are never leaving my collection, and I'll tell you why that is, and it is in no particular order whatsoever. I thought I might as well start the video way back when Mand did not have a tarot tube channel, when she was just a happy little watcher and a viewer, a silent watcher, and not much has changed, although I'm getting better at commenting, that's for sure. But this is way back when I was just watching TarotTube. I wasn't partaking, and I can't remember specifically whose channel had this. Now, my collection did not exist at all. I think I had a few angel oracle decks at the time, but I was totally terrified of tarot. Like, I was petrified of starting tarot, which is very funny now when I look back. Hindsight is a great thing. But when I started out, it was angel decks and oracle decks. Now, this is back in like 2011, 12, maybe 2013, something like that anyway. And I remember watching different tarot tube channels, and some are still here and some are gone, but I can't remember specifically who showed this one. So this is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Can you tell I've had this for a little while? This is totally battered. Like, when I look at this in comparison to some other decks that I have, I'm like, oh my goodness me. But at least you can tell it's totally true what I'm saying here, that this deck has been in my collection for a long time. As far as I know, this is still in print, but this would never leave my collection, even though I do not use this deck very often, if I'm being honest, because I just have other decks. But I thought, I was never drawn to the Rider-Waite-Smith. I think I'm in the minority there. I'm still not particularly drawn. I still appreciate the original images and the artwork, but I'm not. I prefer clones of it, if I'm being honest. Now this does have an extra card, it's the unknown card, but you can like take that aside if you wanted to. But yeah, I was and still am kind of not really overly impressed. Not overly impressed. What's the word I'm looking for? That's not the right word either. But yeah, it's just not something that draws me in. I still appreciate it, and if I was doing a study, I would definitely refer to the Rider-Waite-Smith. I've definitely, I've done courses on it. I've done a lot of looking into it and research and all that, but I still prefer decks that are based on it. So I suppose clone decks more so than the actual Rider-Waite-Smith. But yeah, this would never leave my collection, for the reason being is I love this Hermit card. But no, that's not the only reason behind it. It is the first tarot deck that I seen and I picked up, and I wasn't so terrified of it at all. It made the tarot so approachable for me. Now I look at it and yeah, maybe the artwork is a little outdated. It's probably very telling of its time. I can't even remember when was this printed. I'm not sure when I got it, but I know I started watching kind of early on. Yeah, 2011. So there you go. So I probably got it a year or two after. So I'm not too far off. Dates and times can be very challenging for me. But yeah, I would never, ever, ever part with this. It's just, yeah, very nostalgic. Sticking with staying down memory lane, I also, of course, will never part with my Light Seers tarot, and my heart breaks sometimes. I know everybody has different opinions, and I love that. I love how we all like connected the tarot very differently, but I remember when I was starting off, as you know, Crystal Visions was the first tarot deck, and then I remember seeing the indie version. Now, if you don't know, I live in Ireland, and so getting indie decks is a little bit more on the challenging side if it's outside of Europe. First of all, indie decks are expensive. Absolutely, I can 100% understand why. But I couldn't justify the price that the Light Series was at when it was indie. So when I heard that Hay House, now and I still have like a lot of Hay House decks, when this was coming mass market, I was so super excited because I was able to finally get my hands on a deck that I literally hounded Instagram watching Chris Ann's and anybody else who was showing the Light Series. I wanted to know everything about it because the images were just so completely different to what was out there at the time. I personally think, in my opinion, that this was very revolutionary at the time when it came out. It was so fresh and new, and the take on it was so modern and like relatable. I could really see myself in the cards, and because I read obviously with the meanings in mind, but I was able to read very intuitively as well once I started, trusting and really leaning into that way of reading. So this was also, yeah, even Frankie thinks so, but this was actually gifted to me by my wonderful fiance Jamie. So when it was a Christmas, I can't remember how many years ago now at this stage, but it was one of these Christmases that we were like, well, what would you really, really like? And I was like, all I really want is the Light Seers tarot. That's it. I don't want anything else. And I'm one of these people that truly mean that. Like, when I say this is all I really want, I'm not going to go, this was all I wanted. And I was so excited. I spent ages just flipping through the deck, feeling the cards, looking at the guidebook. It's one of the few guidebooks that is completely cracked, which is very uncommon for me. If you don't know, I'm a pure stickler, and I'll show you. With guidebooks and books, I do not like cracking the spine. I'll try and keep him as clean and non-cracked as possible. It's just a personal preference. But this is a guidebook I still like. I mean, I will get in there and I love it. So yeah, sometimes it's a little bit hard to hear when others don't, but I get it. I understand. You know, it's not for everyone, but I truly just love this so much. And of course I have the mini and everything, and I have the big guidebook, and yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this deck for sure. Okay, seeing as I mentioned indie, I might as well show this one. So this is, I think you know by the sound of it anyway, it's a Divine Feminine Tarot. It's by Kokorina. This was a deck that was gifted to me for my birthday many years ago. A few years ago, and I don't think I had mentioned it to Jamie. He got it for me for, I can't remember which birthday, but it was a birthday all the same. And I have the tarot journal as well with it. I love these backs so much. Oh my god, I just realised I haven't worked with this deck in so long, and I just realised there's a bit of nudity in this, so I gotta be careful. But this deck, you can see by the edges, it's definitely worn. I mean, the gilding has held up really well. I believe this is the first edition of it. I think they've come out with other editions since, but this does come in black and white and then gold and black, and he picked the gold and black, and I just love this deck so much. It's such a feminine deck. It's beautiful. It reads so incredibly intuitive. I love the simplicity of it. There's lots of boobs in it. It's very raw and real in the sense that, you know, really leans into, okay, we'll just leave it at that because I really don't want to be flagged here on YouTube. But this is one of my favorite indie decks that I have. I do believe you can get this deck, but it's just a different print or something like that, as far as I know. But this deck was one of the first indie decks that I was gifted. Honestly, I'm so very blessed, and I never take those things for granted. But yeah, it's just such a precious deck, and again, it's one that when it came into my collection I just used all the time, and I love how it shuffles. Do you ever have a deck that shuffles so nicely? Now, I'm sure some people don't like the cardstock. I like it because I like the flimsy kind of thin cardstock. Again, I think I might be in a minority there, but I love it as somebody who really likes jumper cards and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, there's cardstock that are thicker and I still get jumper cards, but this is just wonderful. Beautiful. So, that is a Divine Feminine Tarot. Still sticking with indie. I promise there's only one more after this and it's all mass market again. But the Dark Mansion Tarot. Now, mine is very sun-kissed. But I remember seeing this on, I think it was Charmed Intuition's channel. I loved her pick cards and things like that. That's kind of really where I started watching, and then I got into TarotTube. I can't really remember how it went. Now, I do know, and you can let me know in the comments below, but I think they've remastered it, but there's something about they've used AI or something. But this isn't that version. This is the, no, I don't know, is it the first print? I don't think, it's a 3rd edition one. But I love this. This is very precious to me, and I just, this gives all the Tim Burton feels and Nightmare Before Christmas. I just really love this, and I remember seeing it on her channel and I was like, I want this deck so badly. And I never actually splurged and bought an indie deck because, again, like I said, they're very expensive. And so between the deck, which is, I thought was reasonably priced, to be honest, for an indie deck, I didn't think it was overly bad. But on top of that, with the shipping, it was enough for a deck, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and justify prices and whatnot. It doesn't, personally, look, each to their own. I'm not going to sit here and do that. But what I am going to say is, like, this was so, I was so excited. I mean, it took forever to get to me, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't aware that it would still take about a month to get to me, if I'm being honest. I thought when I ordered it, it'd only be like 2 or 3 weeks. It took a month. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't impatient. Like, I clicked buy and I was expecting it there, like, now. Now, obviously, I didn't realise it would still take so long to get to me, but it got to me. And I love it very much. And I love this so much because it surprised me for ancestral work and spirit work. So connecting in with other people's loved ones and whatnot. I was blown away by this. I couldn't believe. Like, if you look at the images, you're like, there's no way. I'm not kidding you. When this worked so incredibly well for ancestral work and, you know, doing readings, connecting with others, loved ones, I was blown away. I was like, what? Oh my goodness me. That's amazing. So yeah, never leaving my collection. I love the rose petal finish. I love how this shuffles. I love the backs on this. I love the moon and the stars and the dark clouds and the black gilding and the whole lot. And I really love this, and it's not leaving my collection ever. This is a really exciting one, and this is the Tarobot Tarot, and it is by Michael Murdoch, and this is so awesome. I know the back is all kind of scratched and whatnot, but oh my gosh, I love this deck so much. It's extremely precious to me. This is a very, very precious deck, and I love it very, very much. And it has like Pride and Center up on my bookcase behind me. It is, when you come into my office, or sacred space I should call it, really, because it is a sacred space. Look at that gilding. That is one of the first decks that you will see, because I've kept it at, if you're the same height as me, it's the first deck you'll see. But this deck is extremely precious to me because I won this in a giveaway, and I can't say that very often actually, because I did actually win a giveaway and I never received, not this one, but I did win a giveaway, I think it was like last year or something, and I never actually got the prize, so that was kind of disappointing. But I won this over at Simply Hands Tarot channel, and lovely cat stars, thank you Frankie. And I couldn't believe it that I won, because I enter giveaways just because why not. Sometimes I just like to enter a giveaway. I never really think much of it, because again sometimes they're disappointing when you do win and you don't get it, or you know, obviously there's loads of names and I mean the odds. But I couldn't believe it when she messaged me. She's like, congratulations. I was like, shut up, there's no way. And anytime I look at this, I am like incredibly grateful, like it's so extremely grateful. And this is so damn precious. And there's also oracle cards mixed into this as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, I'm so sorry how many, but I have them mixed in with this as well. You could keep them separate if you wanted to. I don't, but this is so extremely precious. This is never leaving my collection, because I won this, and I won this from an amazing person who I do hope comes back to YouTube at some stage, Han. Boy, I just love this so much. It's totally not my style, and I love that, because there's lots of decks that aren't my style and they have just become a love for me. So that is the Tarobot. Sticking along the lines of kind of not my style but definitely not leaving my collection is the Zombie Tarot. Although I don't know, I think this is kind of my style. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I know and then sometimes I don't. But this was the first fun deck that I got. That it was really hyped up at one point, for sure. I still hype this up because I still think it's a fantastic deck. This is upside down. I think this is great, and I love seeing when others bring this out for Halloween and autumn and that season. But you know, you can use it all year round. But this was such a fun deck. Is why did I use past tense? This is such a fun deck. I really loved the zombies in it, as somebody who loved The Walking Dead up until a certain point, if I'm being honest, because I don't know what happened there. But this is absolutely fantastic. Is this in order? What is going on? all my swords are together. But this is so quirky and odd and weird, and I just love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I don't have any other reason except for the fact that it was one of the first decks that I got that was really fun and just different to what I had, and I really love it. That's it. There's no more to it. Sticking with decks that really were not my style. This was definitely not. So I'm not counting this as an indie or an out of print one, because you can get the Starman Tarot by, is it Red Feather, and that's Schiffer Publishing. Beautiful deck. That one's really nice. This one is the Los Scarabeo one. This is the big one. It's the limited edition. The reason I want to show this one is because this one's never, actually both of them are never leaving my collection, but I wanted to show this one because there is a crystal in it. It's a Unikite. Hello. I always keep this one out. Ugh. But this was gifted to me a few Christmases ago when we did Secret Santa. I don't keep it in the box because the box is absolutely massive. So I went off and I actually got the bag. It just about fits in the Starman Tarot bag, but I love it. It's so nice. But this deck was gifted to me by my brother's girlfriend. And I was like, this is so weird. I would never in a million years have picked this up myself, ever. No. If I looked at it and I would have just gone, no, that's not really my thing. Liar. My sometimes my brain, I think, does not know what a good deck is. Because this is a really good deck and it's totally underrated. If I'm being honest, like, I do not see many people show this deck love at all. So I love when you guys pop into the comments and you're like, I love this deck. I'm like, me too. Let's all swoon about the Starman Tarot together, because I love this deck. It's weird. It's wonderful. It's a bit dystopian. It's a bit futuristic dystopian. It's odd. It's a bit Mad Max-like. It's kind of Alien-esque like. It's a bit cheesy, maybe. No, I don't think it's cheesy. It's very mixture of symbolism, but you kind of have to really look and decipher. Again, yeah, as you can see, like, you really have to open yourself up to receive the messages. I know that sounds probably mental if you don't read that way, but it really does make a difference when you come to this deck with a huge open mind and just allow it to flow in and see what comes up. You'll be extremely surprised. It's a little bit maybe morbid, but it's odd, it's weird, and I love the colour palette, and it's never leaving my collection. Not ever. You'd have to pry it out of my hands. Another precious deck that's never leaving my collection is the Book of Shadows, Volume 1. And this is never leaving my collection because this was so kindly sent to me by one of you guys. And things like this mean the absolute world, and so I would never ever in a million years part with this. I know exactly who sent me this, and thank you so very much. No, I'm not gonna get emotional doing this, but well, I am, that's a lie. But this deck is so, don't take shots of how many times I say precious, but this deck truly means a lot, because I think it's one that I had overlooked, and you had messaged me and you were like, I think you'll love this, I'd love to send it to you. You're just so, you're so incredibly kind, and it's it just means a lot. And so no, this will never ever leave my collection. I love this deck very much. It is again another one that is up on my bookcase with all my decks. You can see it, and it is just, and it's a wonderful reader. I really enjoy it. I know, I think you can get it in a big box. I have no intentions of getting the big box because I have this one, and I really love it, and I love the art style. I do agree, you're definitely right, it's very me. I like this kind of older art style, and it's really along the lines of how I read and how I connect with things. I mean, look at that, the maypole, and how, you know, oh look, even Stonehenge and things like that. So it's very much a me deck, and I just would never part with this. I really appreciate this. So yes, it was one of the first tarot decks that I was sent to, or gifted, by the way, by one of you guys, and it's extremely precious to me. Very, very precious. Sticking with being sent things, this is one of the first of many decks that I've been sent by Llewellyn, and it was the first tarot deck that I was sent for honest review, and I still stand by this deck, by the way. Any walkthroughs that I've done is all my honest opinions, okay? Honestly, what was that out of? Honestly. But it's the Hedgewitch Tarot. It's by Tudor Bet and Angela Rizza. And I was so excited when I received this, because I think, like, you know, when I started this, I never, you know, I'm still winging it, right? I think most of us are winging it. We're trying to figure out what we're doing, and I was just blown away that little old me in Ireland, okay, small hometown girl, country girl, mind you, by the way, I'm very much country, that has been sent decks by a big publishing company, can I add, to give her honest opinion and review and share with her viewers. And definitely by no means not the biggest channel, but it means a lot to me. My channel means a lot to me. My community means a lot to me. I've worked hard to build what I have here and connect, and you guys all mean a lot to me. So whether you comment or you're a silent watcher, you still matter here to me. And so to be sent this deck, which by the way is a very me deck, if I might add that. I love this style, I love witchy style decks. And it's very quirky, so it's kind of a fantasy as well, you know, or the romanticies. It fits in with that aesthetic. And I just love this. I look at the Bridget's cross and the snake and the Queen of Wands. So the Phoenix. It's just a lovely intuitive reader. But yeah, it was one of the first tarot decks. And yes, I do remember all these, believe it or not. So these are very precious to me, and they mean a lot, okay? Decks all hold something for me. Most of them anyway. So this is extremely important to me, and so no, it won't be leaving my collection. Even if I had bought it, it still wouldn't have been leaving my collection, because I really love the art style anyway, and I love the guidebook. It's actually a really good one. And last but certainly not least, now if you're a long time watcher, you're probably watching going, hold on a second, Ment, we know damn well there's a deck that you haven't shown, that you've always talked about, that it is the absolute love of your life deck. You'd be right, I kept it for last. I probably should have started with it, but no, I was keeping it for last. It's the Greenwich Tarot. I think I've talked about this an extreme amount of times. I'm pretty sure those of you that have been around, if you stick through this portion, thank you very much for listening to me talk about this deck. Again. I cannot add any more words than I already have. Look at that. The little robin. Yes, please. This deck was a deck that I avoided getting for the longest of times. Okay, I avoided it. Everybody was talking about it. The Green Witch, it's wonderful, la la la. And I was like, no, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. I don't want it. It's not my style. I didn't know then. Oh, how naive young man it was, and how silly she was. Okay. Oh, I don't know. This isn't my thing. You know, I'm whatever. I don't. You know, I don't even know what I was thinking at the time. But look, this is during a time when we were all buying a substantial amount of decks, because you know that's what we were doing back then. And this was on Amazon, and it was actually really reasonably priced. So, and I think Book Depository had left at the stage. It was a time, you guys. It was just, yeah. No, I'm still not over Book Depository leaving. But anyway, so this was reasonably priced, and I was like, okay, do you know what? I think it was under €20, which is really good. I'll pick it up. I'll see. That deck came into my, this deck came into my collection, and I'm not kidding you, I didn't put it down for about a month. There was no way I was parting with this. It was, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, because that's a lie, it was not. It was literally love at the minute it came into my collection and started working. It was like, why did you take so long to get me? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. It's been very forgiving, I'll be honest. It's been very forgiving and has been so extremely kind, and it's like coming home. And this deck just, it is a constant. It has always been there for me. It'll always be there for me. And I hope they never get rid of it, so that at least when I talk about it, and if you wanted to pick it up, you could, because it is so darn precious. Now, if there was a mini of this, that would be great, because then I can leave this precious copy at home and I can carry my mini with me. I don't think there is a mini, but it would be great if there was. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I've had a blast going down memory lane and chatting about decks that are just, these are not leaving my collection ever. And thanks for Simon too, for always making such fun tags. This is so great to partake in. And yes, thanks so much for hanging out with me. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember, stay magical, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye guys.